Loneliness is a deep emotion that we can feel at many moments in our lives. How is it possible to feel so lonely while being surrounded by so many people? The answer to this question lies in taking an inner journey. Many people think that loneliness comes only from the absence of others. However, during certain periods of my life, I realized that even in the middle of crowds, I felt lonely to my core. I am sure many of you have felt this way too. The truth behind this feeling was that I had drifted away from being my true self. And after those painful days, I discovered something deeply valuable. When I faced myself, I began to understand the real reason for my loneliness. It wasn't actually about my relationships with people in the outside world. It was about the connection I had or didn't have with my inner world. When I realized that I needed to exist as my authentic self, I discovered that loneliness was not just pain. It was an opportunity. Now we will explore that deep journey of self-discovery, the journey we begin after our pain. Part 1. Discovering yourself. After pain. Pain is an unavoidable part of life. The difficult days we go through often give us the opportunity to make our deepest inner discoveries. When we are in pain, many people withdraw and isolate themselves. Those moments become a time when we question the meaning of life and confront who we truly are. Facing an inner sense of emptiness actually pushes us to think more deeply and question what is wrong in our lives. And after the pain, there comes a powerful moment, the desire to begin a journey to find yourself. In that moment, you start to see your situation and the society around you more clearly. You begin to question the mistakes in your life, the limiting beliefs that hold you back, and the relationships that disturb your peace. Through the deep reflections that pain brings, you step into the process of recreating yourself. And when you discover your true worth, you become ready to take action and change the negativity in your life. Now let's focus on the process of changing the wrong patterns in our lives and how this transformation truly happens. Part 2. Changing what's wrong and being reborn. There are many things in our lives that are not right. Sometimes these mistakes come from our habits, sometimes from our choices, and sometimes from the people around us. What truly matters, however, is becoming aware of these wrong patterns and having the courage to change them. This process forms one of the most essential parts of the journey of recreating ourselves. Recreating ourselves often requires deep inner questioning. At times, when we feel lost in the flow of everyday life, we are forced to stop, reflect, and examine our lives. Through this reflection, we begin to identify what is not serving us. We may notice repeated mistakes, relationships that trap us in endless cycles, or a persistent lack of self-love. To change these, we must first confront them with courage. Although this confrontation can be painful, it ultimately makes us stronger. Accepting that certain thoughts, habits, or relationships are harming us is not easy. Yet this acceptance is a crucial step toward recreating ourselves and protecting our self-worth. Part 3. A life transformed. As we rebuild ourselves, we learn to set healthy boundaries and let go of unnecessary burdens. As our self-confidence grows, we leave behind negative relationships and begin to attract positive people into our lives. With increased self-trust, we make more conscious decisions and evaluate the consequences of our choices more clearly. At the same time, the improvement in our quality of life becomes visibly noticeable. We develop healthier habits, engage in physical activity, eat more mindfully, or practice actions such as meditation that improve our emotional well-being and increase our energy. With change, the challenges we encounter no longer feel like obstacles. Instead, they become experiences that strengthen us. As a result, our ability to cope with difficulties grows, and we approach life with a more positive perspective. When we begin to change what is wrong in our lives, it feels as if we are being reborn. As we reassess our thoughts, habits, and relationships, we enter a deep process of inner transformation. In this way, becoming a better version of ourselves becomes not only possible, but inevitable. Chapter 4. Sustaining a new life and continuously growing. After making deep and fundamental changes in our lives, sustaining this new way of living and continuing to grow becomes vitally important. Because change is not a one-time action, it is an ongoing process. As we rebuild ourselves, we must consistently protect the values we've gained and carry them even further. One of the most effective ways to sustain this new life is through regular self-reflection. Setting clear personal goals, defining what we truly want to achieve, and tracking our progress are key elements of growth. Writing our goals down makes them more visible and helps us take concrete steps toward achieving them. Observing our own progress increases motivation and keeps our desire to move forward alive. Practices such as meditation, journaling, or reading personal development books help us understand ourselves better and strengthen our emotional intelligence. These practices not only improve our emotional well-being, but also enhance our ability to cope with stress. At the same time, we should be intentional about improving our social environment. Being surrounded by positive and supportive people increases our quality of life and inspires us. It also helps us discover new opportunities for growth. Taking part in society, gaining new perspectives, and experiencing different environments are essential elements of personal development. The desire for continuous learning and self-improvement is the key to creating lasting change in our lives. Opportunities such as online courses, seminars, or workshops expand our knowledge and help us acquire new skills. These skills provide advantages both in our personal lives and in our careers. Finally, we must remember to be kind to ourselves. Making mistakes along the journey of growth is inevitable. When we view these mistakes as learning opportunities, we allow ourselves to grow. Developing a positive perspective instead of constant self-criticism helps us move forward on the path toward becoming a better version of ourselves. Now, in the final part of this journey, let us focus on discovering the meaning these changes bring into our lives and the potential they hold for our future. Chapter 5. The meaning brought by change and future potential. At the end of this rebirth journey, deeply understanding the meaning that all these changes bring into our lives is a crucial step in shaping our future. Discovering ourselves, changing our mistakes, and building a new life is not a temporary phase. This journey becomes the foundation of our future. After making deep and lasting changes in our lives, it becomes essential to sustain this new way of living and continue growing. Because change is not a one-time action, it is an ongoing process. As we rebuild ourselves, we must consciously protect the values we've gained and keep moving forward with intention. One of the most effective ways to sustain this new life is through regular self-reflection. Setting clear goals, defining what we truly want to achieve, and tracking our progress are key elements of personal growth. Writing our goals down makes them more tangible and helps us take concrete steps toward them. Observing our own progress increases motivation and keeps our desire to move forward alive. Practices such as meditation, journaling, or reading personal development books help us understand ourselves better and strengthen our emotional intelligence. These practices not only improve our emotional state, but also enhance our ability to cope with stress. Equally important is nurturing our social environment. Surrounding ourselves with positive and supportive people improves our quality of life and inspires us. It also opens the door to new opportunities for growth. Being an active part of society allows us to gain new perspectives and experience different ways of thinking. A commitment to lifelong learning is the key to creating lasting change. Taking advantage of online courses, seminars, or workshops expands our knowledge and helps us develop new skills. These skills benefit both our personal lives and our careers. Finally, we must remember to be kind to ourselves. Mistakes are inevitable on the journey of growth. Seeing them as learning opportunities allows us to evolve. Instead of harsh self-criticism, adopting a compassionate and positive mindset helps us move closer to becoming the best version of ourselves. Now, in the final part of this journey, let us focus on the meaning these changes bring to our lives and the potential that lies ahead. At the end of this rebirth journey, deeply understanding the meaning that these changes add to our lives is a crucial step in shaping our future. Discovering ourselves, correcting our mistakes, and building a new life is not a temporary process. It creates the foundation for what is to come. Change gives us a deeper understanding of who we are. As we get to know ourselves, we become aware of both our strengths and our weaknesses. This awareness becomes the strongest driving force behind personal growth. Past experiences are no longer seen only as pain, but also as valuable lessons. These lessons help us make wiser and more grounded decisions in the future. As our self-belief grows, we begin setting new goals and taking more determined steps toward achieving them. Embracing life's opportunities turns us into stronger individuals. We now know that we have the power to shape the direction of our own lives. Moreover, the social awareness that emerges from this process of change carries the potential to inspire others. Sharing our story can shine a light on the lives of those facing similar struggles. Creating this kind of impact in society transforms personal growth into a collective healing process. Ultimately, the changes we experience enrich our lives not only by healing the wounds of the past, but also by unlocking the potential of the future. We move beyond the feeling of loneliness and discover the strength and value within ourselves. This journey shapes us into stronger, more resilient, and more conscious individuals. With a continuous desire for self-improvement, we look toward the future with hope. As this video comes to an end, let us remember that life's challenges are often opportunities that transform us into better versions of ourselves. Every pain carries a lesson, and every change brings a new beginning. If you found this video truly helpful, don't forget to like it and share your thoughts in the comments. For more content like this, subscribe to the MindSnap channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. And most importantly, share this video with someone you believe could benefit from it.